My business is actually a talent development consultancy, so it's helping companies assess, develop their people. But my degree was in psychology, and although apart from a psychology degree, I actually worked, again, in technology, but I knew at some point I would go back and do something I'm very passionate about. But along the journey of working in the tech sector, I picked up lots of commercial skills. I travelled the world, dealt with blue chip companies, so all the time I was racking up ideas and collecting information, so that when I set my own company up, what I bring to the table is not just a passion about developing people and assessing people and so forth, but also a passion for understanding business. Before I launched my company, I went and spoke to people I respected, people who ran their own businesses, people who were intrapreneurs. Those are people who rise up within organisations, and said, I have this idea, what do you think? And some very high profile and very generous people gave me their time and said, well, okay, let's talk about this. For me, one thing I've learned, I started off with this big idea, this big picture, and then I had to be open to things going differently, open to learning. And the more I've learned along the way, my business plan has changed as a result of that. But that, for me, is absolutely crucial, because each time I set out and I meet a client and they buy my services, I learn something from that experience, and that can then shape how the business grows in the future. So the goal and the vision is set in stone to an extent. I want to get somewhere, but the way I'm going to do it, I think, will and has changed as I go along and as I discover more and more as I go along. So for me, being open to new experiences, to new opportunities. When I started off, I had a certain idea, but I'm attracting work which is quite differently from what I expected. And that's actually been really marvellous. I am currently researching a book about entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs. An entrepreneur is someone who starts from the beginning and builds their own company. An intrapreneur is somebody who rises within an organisation and becomes CEO. They don't start the company, but they join within it. And I'm really passionate about understanding the mindset. And one thing that's becoming very clear, I'm beginning to see threads and patterns of behaviour between entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs. Both groups, the drive and the passion and the hunger to really achieve something has been with them from a very young age. And that's one thing. And they also have another common thread is confidence and being positive. They so believe in what they're doing. And alongside that, they actually love working hard. So there's a few ingredients there where every entrepreneur I've interviewed have sort of said the right thing. You know, some people have had a public school background and all of that comes along with that. Other people haven't, but yet they're all on the same road. And the other thing I've noticed about entrepreneurs specifically have been that at some point they've come across an early mentor. Whether it's been a parent or it's been someone who they've met fairly early on who's sort of guided them in the right direction. Personal branding is a topic that's very, very close to me. Your personal brand, every single person has a brand. The minute you walk into a room, people will be using 3 or 4 words to describe who you are. For example, she looks intelligent, confident and professional, and you've just walked in. So at one level, your personal brand is the emotional fingerprint you leave on people. So if you want your personal brand to be confident, a leader, successful, positive, do you look, behave and sound that way? So it's your outward image. I think employers are recognising the importance of their own brand, employer branding, and recognising that by offering development and training and growing their people, it actually feeds their success. So there is a realisation that if we want to attract the right people into this company, We have to be seen as an organisation that values our talent and develops our talent. So I'd say the answer to that is just definitely employers are increasingly recognising the importance of development and training. I think there are lots of women who are very interested in running their own businesses, and it's interesting because I see a lot of women out there running their own companies. My experience of women running businesses have been that women are very helpful in helping other women in business, much more than in corporate life, actually. But absolutely, I think there is a lot of women. I think there are lots of networking groups helping women run businesses. What I would like to see more of is actually women stepping up and moving beyond the kitchen table entrepreneur to thinking big. But again, only time will tell. But I think certainly there are lots of women coming into it. Lots of women have got into their 30-something age and realised that the corporate world hasn't given them what they wanted, and they have gone out to search for something different. And women bring a whole different range of skills into the business world. I mean, one of the first questions somebody asked me was, is this a lifestyle business or do you have an exit strategy? I didn't even know what that question meant. And I looked at him and said, what? It's not a lifestyle business, whatever that means. That sounds derogatory. And you're right, actually. Again, I think it's because of mentors. There's probably more male entrepreneurs than there are female in terms of in their 50s and 60s and role models. And I think it's only a matter of time. A lot of the entrepreneurs that I've interviewed actually for my book, typically the parent who has been their role model in terms of business has been a father rather than a mother. That's not because mothers 30 years ago, 40 years ago weren't capable, but society was different. So I think it's more to do with the evolution of society as much as it is to do with male and female differences. So I guess my daughter, when I have one, will have an entrepreneurial mother. So she will from day one be a part of that environment and will go into the world differently.